Hey everyone, welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park for race 2 of the last round of the 2018 Formula 1600 Championship. Looking back to race 1, we had a disastrous luck. Our bad luck continued from Pittsburgh as we lost a shift linkage just as we were about to take the green flag. The car was stuck in neutral. I had to just coast it straight into the pits. Should have been an easy fix, but we don't really have the infrastructure to fix even simple things like that during the race. So we had to retire. Fortunately, there's a very small field here, so despite not setting a qualifying time in race 1, we're not starting too far from the front in 11th place. Hopefully we can get a good jump at the start, work our way up to mid-pack, and then try and advance through there. But even at that point, we'll be right up to the Cahill cars that are a good bit quicker than us. So let's take another quick look at the track. The first section, like we said in race 1, is fairly open and fast. Turn 1, although turns 1 and 2 are both a little bit tighter than they look. Then it opens up for a little bit, and then at turn 5 it tightens up again. And then the rest of the track is fairly tight corners, and this is the really technical section. The decreasing radius turns of 8 and 9 are particularly tricky, and I don't think the entire weekend I never really found a good line. Like I said before, it's a good place to have a coach that can sort of look at other cars and see what they're doing and what you're doing differently and how to improve from there. But we don't have that either, so it just was up to me to figure out how to do it. So let's get ready for the start. Surely our luck has to change at some point, right? As we'll fast forward up to the last corner and form you up for the start. So this is where we had the problems with the shift linkage in the first race. Everything is fixed and nice and tight and working properly as the pace car heads into the pits. Formation, and the green flag flies and the race is on. Pull to the inside, trying to get that line, trying to get a jump on that red car in front of us. Trying to help a little bit of the draft, suck us forward. Mike Scanlon jumps right in front of us. There's a car on the outside, which is why we have to stay to the right. Got a big run on Scanlon off of turn, what I think is turn 3. See if we can get him down the inside of turn 5. Looks like we've got him, not quite. Try to get a good drive out of the corner, not quite able to make it stick. Cars in front of us are pulling away just a little bit. Now, one huge advantage that we have right now is that our tires are basically fresh. We missed qualifying, we missed the first race, so everyone else has 2 sessions on these tires already, and we've just barely broken the mold the mold release agent off of it. So everyone else has 2 sessional tires, and ours are basically fresh. So that's a big advantage. So we get a run on Mike Scanlon, pop out the pass at the last second, trying to use that draft as much as we can. Can't quite get in front of him under braking. Trying to force the issue a little bit. He leaves us a little bit of room, but we're not quite able to take it. Now we know that through turn 3 we're much faster than him, so hopefully we can use that to get a run. He lifts a little bit. I just try to stay flat. Alongside, going into turn 4. This is not a place you want to go side by side. And it looks like we've got him. Is he going to try to the inside for turn 5? No. We're able to get down to the apex. Oh, we get neutral or wheel spin or something. But if you look in the mirror there, it looks like he's firmly behind us, so we can start driving away from him and try and take the next car. Now we're just hoping to have a couple of good, solid laps so that we can reel in the cars in front of us. They're not too far out. I think they're a little bit too far for the draft right now. This is such a long corner, this turn 10. Really need some patience, otherwise you're going to really spurn up the fronts really fast. believe that's Chris Kierce in the black and gray and a little bit of green Van Diemen in front of us. It'd be really nice to finish in front of him. Trying to put down a couple of good laps, reel him in. I think right here is where my tire advantage comes into play a little bit. Just able to push just that much harder than these guys. These tires are fairly consistent throughout their life, so it's not a massive advantage, but it's definitely significant. Looks like the insides are starting to grain a little bit on that left front. I think one of the things that we're going to do next year to improve is that we're going to invest a little bit more in our equipment, so that we have the all of the equipment we need to measure things like tire temperatures, camber, caster, all of that stuff. We haven't really been doing much of that this year. Partly because for some of the season, especially at the beginning, we weren't able to bring the car into our workshop because of the way that our garage is. We weren't able to really get the car in it, but we fixed that. So with some of the time in the off season, we've got some money coming in, we've got some time to save up. We're going to invest in a setup pad and a set of scales. We already have some equipment for measuring things like caster and camber and tow. But without the setup pad, really, you don't have a guaranteed flat surface to measure all that stuff on, so your measurements are going to be off, and if those are off, then you might as well not take any. But next year we'll have all that equipment, and so we'll be able to look at things at a much finer level than we are this year, which is going to be worth at least a couple of tenths, I think. But we'll talk in the next video about what we're doing in the off-season, what our plans are for next year. We're also going to take a look at how the championship played out. I think one thing that'll change in the videos for next year is hopefully we will be, I really expect to be in the top 5. This year I'm happy that we were in the top 10. Next year I really want to be in the top 5, fighting for race wins and hopefully even fighting for the championship. So next year at the end of every race we'll take a look at the championship, see where we're standing, and even at the beginning of each video, see what results we're going to want to shoot for in terms of the championship. This year, we got off to a difficult start, and so the championship is sort of in the background, but it's not something that we're thinking about too much. But next year, it will be. As you can see, we're closing in quite dramatically now on Chris Kierce in front of us. And I don't know if he's being held up by the car in front of him or what, but it's helping us. We're reeling him in, so that's good. But we'll go over in the video for the last race of the season. What we're playing is we're almost within striking distance. We'll talk about what we're going to do differently for next year, and how we're going to close the gap between us, where we are now, and where the Cahill cars are. See, we gained a lot of ground through the fast first section of the track, and then after turn 5 when it tightens up, they pull away a little bit. And if you look in the mirror, we don't have any cars near us, behind us, so we can focus 100% on attacking these two cars in front of us. Which is always a nice feeling. It feels like you're more in control when you have everything in front of you and you can focus on attacking. I think most people, including myself, we get a little nervous when you see someone in the mirrors, which is kind of backwards because, you know, when you're in front, you have the advantage. You know, you are in the leading position. I guess maybe in that situation is that the person behind has everything to gain and the person in front has everything to lose. So it's a little bit of a psychological disadvantage to being in front, which can seem a little bit backwards if you analyze it from a purely logical perspective. But we've got nobody behind us. We've got two cars in front of us that hopefully we can close the gap. I'm not sure what happened there. It seems like we locked the rears or something. We lost a little bit of ground to them. Get a little bit of understeer there. This long, awkward corner. You can see I upshift in the middle of it. You're too slow on the entry to use second gear, so that's why I upshift from first to second in the middle of the corner. But you exit it, of course. You're too fast. If I stayed in first gear, I would be hitting it off the rev limiter as I'm trying to accelerate out of it, which would be horrible. So the only real option there is to shift in the middle of the corner, which feels awkward, but I don't think that changing gearing is that much of an option, really. I think the gearing is about as good as we're going to get it, so we just have to live with it. Looks like Pierce is on the bumper of the car in front of him, so hopefully we can use them mixing it up with each other to our advantage. Again, there's nobody behind us, so we can focus 100% on the attack, and if we can get into Chris's mirrors a little bit, then maybe we can throw him off and take advantage of it. We also have the benefit of a two-car draft, whereas Kyrus in front of us can just draft off the one car. It does actually make a bigger hole in the air the more cars you have in front of you. So that's another small advantage that we have back here. Kyrus looks inside. It's a nice clean pass. It does slow them down both on the exit, so it's allowing us to catch up. Maybe we can get them through turn 4, turn 3. Turn 4, ooh, that's a tough place. Oh, you don't want to go side by side there. That messes them both up. Here stays on the inside. Can we take the proper line through and get a better run than both of them? A little bit. We've got a little bit of a run, but really not quite enough to pull forward, although I'm going to try. Can't quite stick my nose in. Wasn't able to take advantage of that. Now Kyrus looks like he's gapping this other car. I think one thing I have to do better next year is memorize everyone's names and cars. Get a good run out of here. Are we going to be able to use this going into turn 1? Is it going to mess us up here in the kink? No, this is a good run. Stay in the draft. He's trying to block the inside a little bit. He leaves us a gap that we're able to use. Can we get him under braking? Looks like it. Maybe. He's holding the outside. No, we're taking the position. Now let's see if we can get Kyrus. Try and pull a gap on this guy. A nice run through turn 3 here. Able to stay flat a little bit wide. Looks like we're gaining on Kyrus just a little bit. Run way wide through turn 9. Can't be making mistakes like that, Charles. Why is he running way to the inside like that? I should have taken a much more defensive line than that. I just let him go. Much better run through 9. There we go. Yeah, stay in this draft, Charles. I don't know what you were thinking that last lap. Kyrus is taking an inside line, defensive line. There, nose to tail through turn 4. Not quite close enough to make a move in turn 5. A little bit of oversteer at the apex. Got a good run in the front straightaway. Are we going to be able to take advantage of it? Kyrus is under attack. We try to the outside. 3 wide into turn 1 is not going to work. Looks like the Spectrum gets the better of it. And we're still stuck in last. Well, last of this group anyways. There's a few cars behind us that we've thoroughly dispatched. Oh, a good run through turn 5. Are we going to be able to... This is not a safe place to pass. If we go side by side, we're able to make it through safely, but not able to take the position. believe this is the fight for 7th, but we'll be able to take a look for sure once we see the results. So lap 14, including the pace lap. So I think we're lap 13, unless there was any miscounts by the data system, which has been known to happen. I think I said in a previous video that the lap counter is not entirely reliable. I believe we're doing about 20 laps, so we've still got some time to go. But we are in the later stages of the race. So no white flag yet, so we've got a couple laps at least. Pierce looks to the inside, gets it. Try to get a good exit and capitalize on this, although turn 2 comes up really fast, so there's really not much room to take advantage of it. Let's see if we can get a good run through turn 3. I seem to be a little bit faster here than most people that I've been running with. They all seem to get a pretty good run through this time, although I can make it. For some reason they stand on the brakes or something, they slow down a lot, but I'm still not able to take advantage of it. The road just isn't wide enough. Right now it's all about getting good runs out of every corner. You can get a good run out of the corner, then you can get up into their gearbox, you can get the advantage of the draft, and you can use that momentum to slingshot around them, like right now, almost. But it's frustrating because I'm faster than in turn 3 than these guys, but there's just not enough road to get past them. And the corner coming up immediately after it, turn 4, is tricky spot to go too wide or to sort of force your way past. But getting good exits out of the corners is what's going to get you around the car in front going into the next corner. So that's what we're trying to do. Miles off the apex for turn 9. We try to make up for it, but lost a little bit of ground here. We're too far back for an attack this time by. Keeping an eye on the flag stand now, trying to find that white flag. Not this time. I think we've got about 4 more laps to go. These guys battling in turn 1 again. This is going to help us because coming out of turn 10, the hairpin, we lost a little bit of ground, but going side by side like that for turn 1 is going to let us, as you can see, we've already made up the difference. And then as we're consistently faster through turn 3. But again, it's not quite enough to help us. And then that kink of turn 4 makes it a lot more difficult as we get some corner entry oversteer. I think I was holding the brakes on a little bit too much. Trying to mix it up with these guys. I don't know if it might look like I'm trying to hang back and waiting for a mistake, but I'm really not. I'm really trying to push and get up into their gearbox, into their mirrors, and try and get around them when I can. Because that Spectrum takes a really wide line through turn 10. Expect Kierst and that Black Van Diemen to capitalize on that. As you can see, he's right up in his gearbox. He's probably going to make a move in turn 1. And now again, we're too far back to capitalize on it if they do make a move. Pops out the pass here. Doesn't quite. That would have helped us if he did. And you can see I gain ground here in this fast section, turns 1, 2, and 3, and then in the tighter sections, especially through 8, 9, and 10, I lose ground. So, like I said, it would be really nice if I had a coach to help me through that section. But it's pretty much just on me to figure it out myself right now. So I'm having a fun race up to this point, although it's a little bit frustrating that I'm just not able to get quite close enough to have a run at these guys. They're just out of reach, just an inch past the end of my fingertips. Again, keep an eye on the tower. Are they waving a flag? Not this time. This time Kyrus looks to the inside, makes another nice clean pass that allows us to get up next to them, or at least into their gearbox again. Stay flat through turn 3. Not quite. Ooh, maybe we can stick our nose in here. No, not quite. Like I said, turn 4 is not really a place where you want to force the issue. Guys are taking defensive line. There it is, the white flag. This is the final lap. Now we have to make this one count. Exiting turn 1 through turn 2. Still a little bit too far out of reach. Maybe I can get a good run through 3 and catch up to them. Not quite. Ooh, maybe we can take advantage of this. Kyrus looks to the inside. I'm too far back to make a move here. That would have, if I tried to force my way up the inside, that would have been from way too far back. And definitely would have ended in tears and shouting and all sorts of unhappy stuff. But we're right up with them now. Is there going to be a chance? Is there someone going to make a mistake? Just give us an opportunity to stick our nose in. Maybe take one of these positions at least. Doesn't look like it. Not really any good overtaking spots between here and start-finish line. Unless we can get a magnificent exit, which we don't get a bad exit, but it's not going to be enough. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. As we come up to start-finish, oh, one of them pulls out. Oh, that's close. Oh, I think Kyrus lost that position. And let's look at the results. Kyrus did come in 6th. The black and blue spectrum that we were battling with was Dexter Xuba. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, but yeah, that was the 3 of us right there. Dexter Xuba comes in 5th, Christopher Kyrus in 6th, and then we are running up that group in 7th position. So we came up from 11th, gained 3 positions, and finishing 7th. So I think that it's fair to say that our string of bad luck from Pittsburgh is finished. So hopefully next race will be a little bit better. I'm not sure where we're starting, but we'll take a look at that in the next video. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed that race. It was a little bit frustrating to have these guys just out of reach. My arms stretched out just an inch away from my fingertips. If I had a little bit of luck, maybe I would have been able to stick my nose in there a few more times, but it wasn't to be. So I think this is a pretty good result considering the disasters that we've been having the last couple races. So I'll take it. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you real soon for race 3.